Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Edna and today I'm going to be talking all about the NCLEX and how I passed it the second time. So if you're interested, then definitely keep on watching. I just want to give you guys some guidance and maybe just, give you some tips on how to approach it the second time. So let's get right into it. So to start off, I'm going to be talking about how I took it the first time, the second time, and then my resources I use, some tips the test week of, and then just tips in general. So to start off, I graduated in May of 2021, and then I took my first NCLEX July of 2021. So it was about 2 months. I was having trouble with my ATT. It took them like a month to get it approved because it was missing my social security or something, which I swear I put it in, but they said that I was missing that. So it took me so long to contact them. That's why I couldn't take it until June, and by then I wasn't even prepared, so I pushed it to July. But definitely, I wasn't even in the right mindset. A lot of stuff happened to me the last semester of my nursing school, so I wasn't in the right mindset. So I would strongly encourage you that if you aren't ready to take the exam, like, don't take it, because you're going to waste like $300 like I did, and you may fail. You may pass, but you may fail, so just think of all that. I got up to 145 questions the first time, and I also got up to 145 test questions the second time. The first time I used UWorld and Mark Klimek. So moving on to my second time taking my exam. So I took it in November. You have a 45 day wait period before you can take your next exam. So I could have taken it sooner, but like I said, I wasn't ready. So when I felt ready, I took it and I passed. So I would definitely recommend, feel ready, be ready, and then take your exam. Don't schedule it and be like, I have to get ready now. Take it when starting you're ready. Off with UWorld and Mark Klimek. So, and because that's what I used the first time. So I would definitely recommend UWorld if you are lacking content. UWorld is very, very good at giving you content information and just refreshing your memory. But it's very in-depth. Like the questions and the rationales, it's all very in-depth, which is good if you're, like I said, if you are in needing more content base. But the NCLEX is very, very broad. It's very broad like Archer. So I personally didn't like UWorld. I feel like it didn't help me much and it just wasted my money. And then going on to Mark Klimek, his videos are great. Don't get me wrong. I watched all of them. I really liked his maternity and his ABG and his prioritization. So if you guys want to watch those, I would definitely recommend those 3. He has maybe 12 videos. But for me, I didn't use him the second time because I felt like I wasn't able to apply anything that he taught me other than maybe the maternity videos. But yeah, I wouldn't really say I would say that if you watched him a little bit and you're just not remembering anything he said, just don't use it because it didn't really help me. So I didn't use it the second time. So my second time, my resources was Kaplan, Archer, my prioritization book, and NCLEX High Yield. So NCLEX High Yield, I feel like it was very good because his videos are so short. They're 3 to 5 minutes, and I would replay it if I'm driving or if I'm brushing my teeth and stuff like that. So I would definitely recommend his videos because it's so short and it's very to the point. Let me see. Archer. So Archer was very good because their questions are so similar to NCLEX because it's so simple and you really have to think oh my god, what is this question asking me? So I definitely recommend Archer. And they also have this CAT assessment where they kind of put you in the NCLEX mode where if you are doing better, you're gonna get harder questions and the select all the apply questions. And then they also have a readiness assessment where they give you 75 questions and they would tell you if you would pass or fail. So it'll give you 4 categories, whether you were low, borderline, high, or very high. I feel like those were very, very good, and it helped me feel good. It gave me that confidence if I was scoring very high. One thing I would recommend though is that Archer, they're not really good on their grammar or their explanations. It's not as in-depth as UWorld is, and their grammar, sometimes they would have little dots or commas in the wrong places, or a word would kind of be spelled off by a couple letters, they flip the letters. So I definitely would say if you kind of don't like grammar errors and stuff like that, I wouldn't really recommend it. And for me, when I used UWorld, if I chose a specific topic, for example, I would choose cardiac only, I would get the cardiac questions, but somehow for Archer, when I would choose the cardiac section, it kind of gave me questions that wasn't just only on cardiac. It was kind of weird. And some of their questions on Archer are very random, stuff that you may not even need to know. So I would definitely say just look at the benefits and the cons, the pros and the cons, because Archer is cheaper, so it's obviously not going to be as in-depth and as like rationale as UWorld. So just, just pick and see which one you need more, but I would definitely recommend Archer. And then I also had Kaplan. I felt like Kaplan was really good. So with my program, we used ATI, and I feel like ATI didn't ever help me. So this time when I did Kaplan, I feel like it was very helpful. The questions were super, super hard, and it made me learn how to like analyze a question and just think a little better, because my biggest issue wasn't content based. It was just basically knowing how to like take tests or knowing how to analyze a question, which that's what I really struggled on. So I feel like Kaplan really prepared me for that. And the difference between like Archer and Kaplan was Kaplan would let you take up all the way to 145 test questions when you did their like, because every like they have phases, and every phase you have like an NCLEX exam where you would take it just like the NCLEX, and you would start at 1 and it would shut you off whether you passed or failed. So I really like that feature because it let me go all the way up to 145 test questions, which I felt was very helpful, because like I said, I passed my NCLEX at 145 question, which Archer doesn't really prepare you for that because they stop at only 75. But I do love their program. So that's the differences in the programs that I used and how I prepared. Now I'm going to talk about what I did the week of my exam. So the week of my exam, every other day I took a Archer assessment readiness assessment test, and then on the opposite days I would like review the materials that I missed like throughout, because what I did was I wrote out like rationales to why I missed a question, or like I would print out how to analyze that question a little better. So I would review those on the opposite days from my readiness assessment test, because I feel like if you've been studying, you don't have to take a test every single day now the week of your exam. To me, I just felt like that helped me not try to like stress everything into my brain, and I personally just did better that way. So take it how you want it. I felt like it really helped me. And the thing I did was the day before my exam, I did not study at all. Like I just forced myself to be busy that day, whether I went shopping or like would go out. I just tried not to look at my notes, and then I was tempted, but I didn't do it. So I definitely recommend you to not study the day before your exam. And so my testing site was an hour away, so I decided to just book a hotel for the night so that I wouldn't have to worry like driving there and stressing out and just like waiting the whole time. Because the first time I drove there, because my testing sites around me are like both an hour away, so the first time I drove there and I was so stressed, like the whole hour I was like, I have to study, or like I have to say stuff in my brain, like like I panicked for like a very long time, which was so unnecessary. So I would definitely recommend that if you're farther away from your testing site, to go ahead and book a hotel near, so you don't even have to stress that whole like hour of driving if you like studied enough or prepared enough or start doubting yourself. And that's basically all I did the week of my exam. So now I'm going to go into giving you guys some tips that I think were very helpful for me. So hopefully some of them will be helpful for you guys. I wanted to show you guys the book that I used. So this is how it looks like. Here's like a close-up. I definitely recommend it. It was really good. It really helped me like strategize. But if anything, you can definitely purchase it on like Facebook Market, because that's where I purchased mine. I bought it for only like $10, because on Amazon they were selling it for like $30-$40, and I was like, there is no way that I'm buying it for that expensive. So yeah, definitely check out your Facebook Market or just like Facebook like nursing groups. And also there is a PDF online, so I can definitely try to share you guys that PDF that I found. But yeah, I definitely like, if I was broke, I would definitely do like the PDF online, but I don't like testing like online as much, so that's why I wanted to buy it in person so I can highlight and all that. But one thing I did do when I was a little bit more broke is I would print out the pages of the section that I was struggling the most. I would just print it out and then just highlight and circle. So you can always do it that way too. But going more into the tips, so like I said, the biggest tip I want to give you guys is like so like the day before, definitely don't study. Like go out and do something you love, go out and hang out with friends, something to keep you away from your notes. And another thing was like, when I was taking it the second time, I did not want to take it at the same testing site, because I didn't want to feel like stupid. I didn't want to like put myself back in that scenario. So I decided to just go ahead and do like a whole different testing site. So I definitely recommend that. Like if it's gonna stress you out to go to the same place, just go to a different place. There's nothing wrong with that. Nobody's gonna know. And definitely book a night before if you're far away. I know it's expensive, but it's totally gonna be worth it all, because I think that was a really good determining factor for myself, is booking it at a different location, and like booking a place so that I didn't have to travel so far. Another tip is from NCLEX High Yield. He does this trick where you should do the 4 sets of 40, meaning after every 40 questions, every set of 40 questions, you take a break, which is definitely what I did. I feel like that helped me the most, because I was struggling on knowing when to take my breaks, right? Because I was like, should I take a break at 25 questions? But then that's like too soon every time. Or should I do it at like 50 questions? But then like my brain would be like dead. So his rule, 4 sets of 40, really helped me. I definitely recommend it. That's how I did it for the NCLEX. So the NCLEX, you can take as many breaks as you want. So that's another thing that I'm gonna recommend you guys to do, is take breaks. Take breaks when you feel tired, or like when you feel like you're not processing anything anymore. Go ahead and take your breaks. I did it like a break every 40 questions. So yeah, just take your breaks and don't worry about it. You can take as many breaks as you want and as long as you want. And yeah, and I definitely recommend bringing like a second-hand watch, because you know you don't really have anything to keep track of time. So bring a second-hand watch. They don't let you use your cell phone, so if you're like relying on your cell phone, I wouldn't count it, because they put it in like a sealed bag. Like, girl, you can't even open it up, like it's sealed. So definitely bring a second-hand watch to keep track of your time. Another tip is more, or another tip that I'm going to give you guys is more based off like when you test that day. So when you test that day, they have like canceling headphones, which I didn't use that the first time, and I used it the second time, and I didn't realize like how much of a difference it makes. So I definitely recommend using that. If your eyeballs get like tired looking at the screen because it's so bright, definitely wear those blue shield glasses, or the blue glasses or whatever. I had to buy mine. I had one because I bought it from Amazon anyways, but I brought it to the testing site and they didn't say anything, because you know it's just glasses and they'll expect it. So I definitely recommend that, because I have this problem where like when I look at a screen too long, my eyes starts to hurt and I can't focus anymore. So definitely bring that if you have like the same problem as I do. Let's see. Oh, bring snacks. Definitely bring snacks, prayers, a supporter. Like, I brought my boyfriend and he was there with me the whole exam. Every time I took a break, I would go out there and hug him, and like, you know, we would just talk about something else. Like, he'll tell me like, you're doing great, don't give up, like, you know, you got this. I thought that really helped, and every time I took a break, I would eat a little snack, whether it be chips or like chocolate. And oh, a very important tip that I want to give you guys that could be a determining factor is that if you're still going, like you're still in the game, girl, don't give up. That's awesome. If you're still going, then keep going. If you get to like almost to the end where you're at question 130 or 135, definitely take a break. If you have the time for it, definitely take a break. I think that was my determining factor. That break at like the test question 130, I literally took a 30-minute break. I went ate chicken nuggets. I went and like, because I was like, I was at that mindset where I was like, why am I not passing? Like, why have my test not shut off yet? So it was definitely getting to me. So I had like a whole hour left. So I took a whole 30-minute break. I was in there eating chicken nuggets, having the time of my life, taking a break, not thinking about my exam. I almost thought I finished my exam. Like, I literally just chilled for 30 minutes. And then I went back and took the last like 10-15 questions. And I felt really good. Like, I felt really confident, because I was talking to myself. I was like, I've already done everything I've done. Like, I've already studied everything. If I fail, I fail. Like, I was confident. I was like, you know what? I'm laying it all on the table, this last 10-15 questions. And I feel like that really helped me. That really, like, the determining factor for me was taking that break and just recollecting myself for as long as I could and going back to finish the rest of my exam. Some other test tips is now more like content based. I definitely want to recommend you to know your fundamentals. I was tested so much based off like fundamentals, such as like documenting, PPE, like delegating, prioritizing. Like, definitely know your fundamentals, because it's so like it's covered so much on the NCLEX. Like I said, definitely know your PPE. Both times I took my exam, they asked me PPE questions. So the first time I didn't pass because of safety, and the second time I did, girl. So, you know, look at your PPE stuff. Definitely know which goes where between droplet and like airborne and contact. I had one, let me tell you, where I swear to God, I studied everything, right? And all like, I like acronyms and stuff like that. Tell me why they gave me something like streptococcus pharynginitis that I didn't even know. Like, where does that even fall under? It's so random, right? Like, the NCLEX is so freaking random. I hate it. Definitely know your med surg, because I would say that med-surg is important to know. If anything, they're gonna test you more likely on like med-surg rather than anything else. Like, you're gonna get a few questions from like maternity or pediatrics or like what is it, psych, but I feel like most of the time it comes from med-surg. And definitely know how to do test taking strategies. If anything, know how to take a test. I swear to you, as long as you know how to take a test, you can pass their exam. So for example, I did something where I would find patterns, like questions that I kept getting over and over again that were the same thing. I would find patterns. So for example, I have like a bunch of like sticky notes. I literally wrote sticky notes and taped it on my board and wrote patterns, like patterns. Anytime you ask me this question, it would have to be this answer. So for example, I did something about like contrast dye. So like, here's how it kind of looks like. So for contrast dye, I know that anytime they ask me about contrast dye, it would either be give them fluids afterwards or increase fluids, because with contrast dye you need to get rid of it. So there's nothing else they could honestly ask me about. Either it would either be give fluids or see if they have like a shellfish reaction. There's nothing else they could ask you. So I definitely recommend like finding patterns. I can post these if you guys want me to as well. So for example, another one would be like right here, like oxytocin. I know that for oxytocin or Pitocin, the only thing they could ask me about is putting it on a secondary infusion IV pump, and making sure it does not go like sooner than every 2 minutes and longer than 90 seconds. Like, there's nothing else they can ask me other than that. So finding your patterns, I found so many patterns. Like, I have so many written out. When you find a pattern, just tape it onto your wall so that when you get another question like that, look at your pattern, and if it connects, then that's definitely the answer. Another thing that I wrote from NCLEX Yale was the 8 freaking out, ass graph. You can watch this video on it and it'll kind of tell you a little bit more in depth about what that is. Another tip I would give you guys is be confident in yourself. You've already made it through nursing school. You've already like got rid of all those like nasty teachers that were trying to help you fail, So just be confident in yourself. I think my biggest thing was also not having confidence in myself. So once I had the confidence, I felt like another different level. I was like, I'm acing this exam. I'm gonna start off at 75 questions. Like, it's okay if you go farther, because I did both times. So it's okay if you go farther, but just have that mentality in your mindset. Like, I know all the materials, I've prepared, I've studied. There's nothing else that can tie me down. And that confidence, I feel like, gave me the extra boost that I needed to pass my exam. So yeah, definitely build confidence. Some ways that I built confidence was either, doing my patterns, like finding patterns. I thought that was getting very smart, So I was like, I'm gonna find these patterns. They're not gonna get me today. And then taking test questions. Like, the more test questions I took, the more confident I became. And once I had like that passing scores everywhere, like on Kaplan and Archer, I kept getting like passing. That's when I knew I was ready to take my exam. Another tip I want to give you guys is studying in the morning. And because when I studied in the morning compared to when I study at night, it was totally different. Like, when I woke up and I told myself, I had to tell myself, because I was not all about that morning life, but tell yourself to study in the morning, because your brain, I swear, is most active in the morning. I got more studying done in the mornings than I ever did like at night. So yeah, definitely recommend studying in the morning if you can. I did a lot of manifesting. I was all like, every time you take a test, write your name, put your name and put RN. That's what I did. I put my name and I put the letter RN. Like, every time I took a break, I wrote my name and put RN. Like, I was just manifesting me as a nurse, and I felt like that gave me another kind of like confidence that I was gonna pass. Let me see. I think that's it. That's all I have to tell you guys. Don't forget that you've been through it all. Everything has been thrown your way in nursing school, so don't give up. You got this. If it's just not your time, if you haven't passed, don't take it as anything else. It's not that you're not smart enough or that you're never gonna get there. You're gonna get there. Just be confident in yourself, and never give up. Because when you give up, then, you know, there's nothing left. So don't give up. You got this. You're going to be a great nurse. You're going to get there. And whenever you do get there, just come back and comment and let me know. Thank you guys for watching. I know this video was long, but I'm going to tell you guys, like, I did all the research there was because I was trying to succeed so well. So that's why my video may be a little long. But thanks for sticking with me to the end. And I hope you guys pass. And when you guys do, come back and comment. Or if you have any questions, just reach out to me and I'll definitely answer you guys back. But other than that, have a good day. Enjoy your time. You definitely got this, and you will be a nurse.